All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jason Flame. Joining me today, we have Master Kevin Kowalczik from Colorado with us today. Super excited to kind of start a new deal here today. Hopefully, we'll get this going each week, checking in with you guys. But we want to talk about this topic today here. We're talk about this topic. Talk about martial arts. Is it a hobby or is it a lifestyle? And I think we both have some great thoughts on that. So, Mr. K, why don't we let you get started? What are your thoughts on this question? Is martial arts a hobby or is martial arts a lifestyle?
Martial arts should be doing it correctly. Should be 100% lifestyle. It's not a sport. It's not something that you just do part-time. It's how you live every single day. Now, can you do martial arts as a hobby? Sure, you can, but you're never going to really be a serious martial artist, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it can be both, right? It can be both. I think you start martial arts as a hobby, right? Kind of like, let's try it out. Let's see what this is all about. But once you kind of learn what martial arts is, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. And I think, just like anything else, what do we eat? Do we work out? Do we go to the gym? Do we read? 100% more than kicks and punches. So talk a little bit about your mindset and when you're working with your students. And by the way, real quick, hey, Emilio's checking us out saying, hey, and Miss Angela Leary is watching. And of course, Miss Jackie is watching. So what's up, guys? When you have a student come to you, how do you help make that transition?
What's that?
How do you help cultivate that transition between martial arts being a hobby and just something you do kind of on the side and taking it to becoming part of your lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you said in the beginning, people are just kind of trying martial arts out. They're kind of seeing what it's all about. But once you want to cross that line and be a serious martial artist, right? You want to actually be a black belt. You want to actually be good at it. You got to eat, sleep, and breathe it, and getting students to understand that. And I think part of our culture has been weakened down. I think we've got a lot of really weak-minded people, especially since COVID. People have just been very, very laid back. Everyone is so sensitive now. Everyone is so soft now. Like we gotta toughen up, man. And part of being a martial artist is having the mental toughness to push through adversities, to push through challenges. Because as we know, life's not always easy. Life's not always going to go the way you want to go. Everything's not always going to be simple, right? Things are going to be hard and challenging. And if you're a martial artist, you have that mindset that you can tackle or break through any challenge, any obstacle. And that's a very unique type of person. People always ask me, how long does it take the average person to become a black belt? I'm sure you've heard this before. The average person doesn't become a black belt, right?
Right.
It takes a mental toughness, and I feel like we're lacking that in today's society. Do you see that with your own students?
I do. I see it. I see it not only within my school. I see it in the elementary schools, in the high school. And you brought up COVID, right? I think that's a major factor, and it's not COVID itself. It was the time off that people took, right? So we're starting to suffer some of the effects of, people were used to being at home and having this, I want to say maybe a comfortable schedule. Lots of people working from home, going to school from home. It was like the movie WALL-E is always what comes to mind when I think about COVID, right? The movie WALL-E, where like everything is on a screen and everything is sitting down, and it created some unhealthy habits, and that's really what started it. It's a habit. Good. Mr. Dave Kovar says this, right? Good habits are hard to make but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to make but hard to live with, right? Does that make sense? Absolutely. So we had these habits that happened where we were just kind of used to sitting back. Gosh, I've seen students that have unfortunately suffered from just social anxiety and learning how to really integrate with society.
Children like depression, anxiety is through the roof now. We haven't seen so many kids now with depression, anxiety, kids that having suicidal thoughts. Like this wasn't a normal thing 20, 30 years ago. And it's become so regular now And I really hope we have a shift in society. There's a quote that I found, I've heard this before: hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And I feel like that's where we're at in that flow there, is weak men create hard times. We're in a time now where it's like, it's almost socially acceptable to make excuses for everything. It's almost socially acceptable to not take responsibility for your own actions, your own life, to work hard for things, to be disciplined and dedicated and have that drive. That's a rare thing, And I think if you're a true martial artist and that's part of your lifestyle, then, right? So, it's not hobby. It's got to be in everything you do, right?
Right. Well, a hobby is something I think that we do that maybe passes the time, right? We might like, I know that we have a lot of people that love pickleball, right? But pickleball is a big sport here in Moorpark. Pickleball courts everywhere. People love pickleball. Hey, it's great exercise. It's a fun activity, but quite honestly, that's a hobby. But as martial arts teaches us, you mentioned a lot of words that I think, get overlooked in the martial arts. Discipline, right? Having discipline to stick to a workout, to stick to a training regimen, to stick to a certain diet. As you know, and many of my students know, I just finished 30 days of phase 2 in 75 hard. Did I want ice cream? Did I want certain things that I couldn't have? But it took discipline, and I made a goal. That I'm going to finish this 30 days. And what's great is at the end of the 30 days, I'm still drinking just about a gallon of water. I'm still hitting 2 workouts a day. I'm still reading my book. So the discipline that I learned just in that 30 days and phases past are continuing with me. The things that we learn in martial arts, stretching, exercising, eating healthy. We have a student creed that talks about all of these things. And I feel like sometimes for some people, it's just words that they're repeating. Right? We say the Pledge of Allegiance every day. It sounds good. But do you live it?
Yeah. One of the things I try telling my students, guys, and for you guys listening in, there's a difference between motivation and discipline, right? I don't always feel motivated to go to the gym. I don't always feel motivated sometimes to do the right thing, right? Motivation comes and goes. Motivation, to be totally honest, is, for just being frank here, is garbage. Motivation is it's garbage, because it doesn't mean anything if you don't have the discipline behind it. Discipline in our culture here, like in America, we think discipline means getting in trouble. We associate discipline with bad, right? Really, discipline is actually a positive thing. It's a good thing to have discipline. And what discipline really is doing the right thing regardless of how you feel, right? Regardless of how you feel, doing the right thing. That's what discipline is. And the trouble part, the bad part, is when we don't have the discipline. Like when we don't have the discipline to stick to the diet, when we don't have the discipline to wake up and to go to work, when we don't have the discipline, well, that's when the negative chain reaction of things come along, right? And I think there's a lack of discipline in people in general, but there's also a lack of accountability, right? Like we don't want to be accountable for our own actions. Everything is my fault. And I tell my staff the same thing, anything happens wrong, I'm late getting my kid to school, because there's a traffic jam, my fault. Not the cars in front of me, my fault. Take ownership. I could have went a different way. I could have left earlier. Like when you start to take ownership in your own life, it really frees you up from making all the excuses. It gives you control of your life. When you blame everybody else and you don't have accountability, there's a lack of discipline. It's almost like you're giving up your own free will. You know what I mean? You're giving up your own ability to have control over your own destiny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take accountability, have the discipline, get up, do the right things, and that has to be a lifestyle. For our viewers that are watching, I want to ask a question. When's the last time you did something hard? When's the last time you challenged yourself to do something hard? You should be doing hard stuff every single day. Every day you should be challenging yourself to do something hard. Whether it's, I know you just finished with the challenge, just taking a cold shower in the morning. That's hard. You know what I mean? For some people, it might be going to the gym. For some people, it might be, hey, can you go a week without fast food? That's easy for me. But for some people, that might be hard. Like, are you doing hard stuff to sharpen your mind and to be disciplined and challenge yourself, and having that inner accountability when you fail and owning up to it, right? I mean, it's huge, right? But that comes from training.
Yeah, I posted the other day about finishing the challenge, and I said a good friend of mine told me that I must be some kind of challenge junkie. Just so y'all know, this is the good friend that tells me that I'm a challenge junkie. But why do I do that? You just brought it up. Martial arts taught me when I don't have a challenge, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing something, like I'm moving myself forward. Martial arts has taught me, we test for stripes to earn belts. We earn belts along the way to get to our black belt. And what a lot of people think is that black belt is the end all, right? The black belt is the end all goal. And really, guys, again, students that are watching, martial artists, we know that black belt is really, truly only the beginning. But the discipline that took us to get there, I tell my black belts often, it's hard to earn a black belt. It's even harder to be a black belt. Right? It's hard to earn it, but it's even harder to be a black belt because.
No, I was saying, in my mind, the day you stop training is the day you stop being a black belt. The day you stop training is the day you stop being a black belt. Can you hear me?
I hear you. That's a harsh one, right? But I mean, could it be true?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a hobby, right? We're talking about hobby versus lifestyle. If you just want to earn it, you just want to get a black belt and just put it on the wall so it looks nice and pretty and whatever. There's a website you go to, it's called Amazon. You can just go ahead, you can just buy yourself a belt, right? And just throw it up on the wall. It'll look pretty, it'll look nice, right? But if you didn't earn it, you didn't earn it. Right? If you didn't work for it, if you weren't challenged, if it didn't take any sacrifice, like listen, anything to be successful in anything, it takes sacrifice, right? To be successful at a diet, at weight loss, in business, in your relationships, like whatever it is, it all takes sacrifice to some degree because that's what makes it worth it, right? And if it's a lifestyle to you, you eat, sleep, and breathe it, then you sacrifice, you work hard, you dig deep, you push yourself, you challenge yourself. So that way it has value. Right. But when it's a hobby, it's just something that costs the time. There's no value in it. You might as well just buy one online. Somebody told me once, he said, earning your black belt and then quitting training is almost like finally getting your driver's license and then never driving a car. It's like once you get your black belts, where the fun begins. It's where like you really get the challenges. You take all those skills and fundamentals and basics that you learned up to your black belt, and now you get to apply them. Now you get to actually do the cool stuff, So it's got to be something that you do day in and day out. I started training when I was 5 years old. I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, 32 years, 33 years almost now, nonstop. I take off Sunday. That's about it. I eat, sleep, and breathe this, man. It's all I do, and that's a real thing, I think now, you've been training for a long time too.
It's been a bit. Yep. I started in 1985. I may have had some short breaks along the way. And people listening are thinking, well, gosh, Master K, Master Flame, you guys are karate school owners. So of course you think martial arts is the lifestyle, but you know what? If that was not it became my profession. It became my livelihood because it was so ingrained in my lifestyle, because I loved it so much. Not everybody is going to become a martial arts instructor. Not everybody's going to become a martial arts school owner, but you could be. I mean, we have people like in my school, Charles Grimes, Randy Berman, my brother, Jacob Flame, lifelong, even my wife, has been training since we met, on and off a little bit, but you're still that lifelong martial artist. It's still part of your lifestyle. You live courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and double spirit, the 5 tenets of Tong Soo, right? We live those things. We live a martial lifestyle. I think that whether we were school owners or not, that would still be, I believe, for me, and I'm sure for you, that would still be the case.
Yeah, 100%. If I just wanted to be a business owner, I could have opened any kind of business, right? The reason I opened a martial arts school is because it's ingrained in what I do, and I believe in what martial arts teaches. I know how martial arts has personally saved my life and changed my life, and I want to help change others' lives. And like, I truly believe in living that martial arts lifestyle, or I wouldn't have opened a martial arts business. I would open something else. So yeah, I totally agree with you and understand that. Do you see that your students, because I see this from time to time in our students lose sight of that, and they kind of just go through the motions. They come to class, they go through the motions, and they forget that, like, man, you got to put your heart and soul into this if you really want to be successful and good at it. You guys see that often out there?
I do, and I'll tell you why. I think that people lose sight of the purpose, right? Because you might look at black belt, and that's your goal. But what happens when you get your black belt? You know, what's really your purpose? Maybe some people join because they want to stay healthy. Maybe some people join because they want to have a good discipline. They join because they want to be around their friends and they like that accountability. They like that team spirit. We lose sight of those little things. We get caught up in I got to learn this curriculum. I got to learn that curriculum. I got to test here. I got to test there. But really, every day is supposed to be better than yesterday. My goal is to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday, right? Or better than today. If we think of that and we think about self-reflection and self-improvement, that's why I read. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I continue to learn martial arts, is so that I can continue to grow. And my purpose, and your purpose, I know as well, is we want to pass what we've gained from martial arts to our students so that they have that level of success, not only on the mat, but maybe at school or, listen, I love other sports. My son, plays other sports. My daughter danced for, more than half of her life. Where did the discipline come from that? Well, it came from martial arts. They're used to doing martial arts every single day. Going to work out every day is not a big deal to them because that's what they're used to. That's part of their morning routine, their evening routine. If Jose Escobar ever watches, martial arts helps develop those routines.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, you're in your studio?
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
in my uniform. I'm in the office, but when I take off my martial arts uniform, I'm still a martial artist. When I'm at the grocery store, I'm still a martial artist. If you see me out at the gas station, I'm still a martial artist. When you're playing football or you're playing, basketball or whatever, and team sports are great. But when you take off that jersey or that equipment, you go out into your regular life and you're off the field, you're no longer playing football. You're no longer playing basketball. And I think that's where, the differentiation is between the hobby and the lifestyle is, if you're a martial artist all the time, at home, at work, at school. It's how we treat one another. It's how we carry ourselves, I can always tell when somebody walks into the studio and they've trained in martial arts before.
Sure.
Absolutely. They present themselves differently. They have a different aura to them, I'm sure you've seen that too, have you?
Yes, and so I'm thinking as you're saying that I remember often hearing parents say, I don't want my child to use martial arts outside the school. I don't want them to learn how to fight. Okay, well, yes, I get that. Or, don't use your martial arts at school. And I remember, I don't know which instructor or which seminar I heard it in, but it struck me, and I've remembered this ever since. And it's, I want you to use your martial arts every day. I want you to use your martial arts. You know what I want you to use? I want you to use your manners. I want you to use your respect. I want you to use your self-control. When you're sitting in the classroom and, we say, cross your feet, hands in your lap, back straight, eyes on the teacher's eyes. Well, at school, it's feet on the floor, hands on your desk, back straight, eyes on the teacher's eyes. What's the difference? What you learn here goes with you outside the school at all times. You don't get to turn it on when you walk through the door and turn it off when you go out into the world. It's always on.
And that's hobby and lifestyle. Hey, for the viewers, I had somebody ask me a question. This is really good. Sound working okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I had another martial arts industry guy say this, and I thought this was really cool, and I want to share it with all the viewers. Is if you had your choice of $1 million, I'm going to give you $1 million cash, no strings attached. The only catch is you have to be a regular person. You got to give back all your martial arts training, all your martial arts knowledge, the confidence that you've gained through training, the discipline, the focus that you gained through training, all the experiences and relationships and friendships, everything martial arts has ever given you, and just go be a regular person and give all that up. Would you do it? Would you give up everything that martial arts has given you for $1 million? Nope. Instantly, my answer is no. There's no way, right? It's like what martial arts has given me, my lifestyle. It's invaluable. You know, it's because it is my lifestyle. It's invaluable. You know, I would never give it up. Not for $1 million, not for anything, right? So if parents can connect that and understand that, and students can connect that and understand that, you know, that's the value of what we're doing. It's not the punches and the kicks. It's the life transformation, right? Every belt graduation is a life transformation. You're getting better every step of the way. You're growing, you're learning, you're improving, like how you carry yourself, how you talk to one another, how you face difficult situations. You know, we've had students in our school that have faced, and I'm sure you have too, traumatic, life changing losses, and you know, death of family members, and you know, when COVID hit, loss of jobs, and I mean, like, life is hard. Life is going to sucker punch you in the face sometimes. You know, and if you're a martial artist, you know how to sucker punch right back. You know how to like block and keep moving and bobbing and weaving. And you stay in the fight, but it's got to be like something that you live out every day. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people that look at martial arts as just a hobby, they're missing the point. It's not punches and kicks, folks. It's so much more than that.
Couldn't agree more. Well, listen, we wanted to keep this video kind of short and just start this off with our Thursday thoughts. We've been talking about this back and forth a little bit over the past couple of days. So we got a couple of viewers still watching. If you guys have any questions about our thoughts on, you know, martial arts being a hobby, martial arts being a lifestyle, like I said, I think it starts as a hobby and it becomes a lifestyle over time. But if you have any questions, drop those in the comments, or if you have any suggestions for a topic that you want to hear us talk about next week when we do this video again, please post that in the comments, and I'll be reaching out. But you know what? Hey, Mr. K, you got something really cool going on, right? And I can see that bright, shiny light behind you.
Yeah,
we got something coming out. We're launching it. Raptor Extreme Karate. Raptor Extreme Karate, guys. We're one of the first schools in the country to be a licensed Raptor Extreme school. So can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. We're taking all the great stuff from traditional martial arts, different styles and different arts, and we're combining them into a performance art that really challenges you both physically and mentally. The extreme martial arts, the sport karate, I mean, you guys see it in movies. A lot of sport competitors, sport martial artists go off into being stunt guys, and they go to, you know, California, and they're in movies, and kids see movies and TV and Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and all this cool stuff, Avengers. And they want to be like those characters. They see that, but then they come into most martial arts schools and it's just, you know, sitting in a horse stance doing front punch. It's basic, it's boring, and it's not helping students excel. Times change, everything evolves. Even, you know, Geisha Funakoshi, who they consider as like the great grandfather pioneer of all karate and martial arts. Like, his dying wish was that martial arts evolve. You know, everything should evolve. You know, we're still doing the same forms and the same patterns. And even though there's a place for traditional, which I think is great, it's great roots, there's an evolution that's happening right now in martial arts. And it's this new wave of the sport karate, the extreme martial arts. It's taken over a whole new thing. Man, students are loving it. They're pumped about it. School owners that are jumping on board, they're seeing double, triple their monthly revenue. Their student retention is through the roof. Like, it's amazing. So, you know, my goal with this thing is just to empower people. Thank you, Tim. Yes, sir. I want to empower people to take their skills to the next level, to challenge themselves, right? For students to challenge themselves and their abilities to, like, get better and grow and reach your full potential as a martial artist. And that's what it's really about.
Well, we're excited to have it here at Moorpark Karate and Krav Maga. I know you're going to see it all over the country and maybe all over the world very soon. We're going to be releasing this at the Martial Arts Super Show in Las Vegas in July. So let's maybe close out this show and show them a little bit about the program. So I'm going to play a quick video here, guys. Again, if you have any questions for next week, let us know. But here it is, Raptor Extreme Karate.